Hello, welcome to Herdstone Painting. My name is Mark and today we're going to be painting an Ungor Warrior with hand weapon and shield from the Beastmen Brayherds army, which is part of Warhammer the Old World. Now these models are getting on a little bit. They'd recently been pulled back across from Age of Sigmar back to the Old World, and with the release of the battalion box set, I thought it was a good opportunity to paint them on screen, as not a lot of people will give these guys much love. So we're going to speed paint this guy a little bit. We're going to match up my older force, but clean some of the edges up. So we're going to start with the skin, and we're going to base coat the fur at the same time, just so we can wash all of them in one go. But to start with, we're going to get some Mechanica Standard Grey. You want to ensure it's nice and watered down. If you've got a wet palette, this will help you out massively, and you want to apply 2 thin coats to all of the skin. Once that's dry, you'll want to go in with some Rhinox hide now and paint all of the fur elements. There's not as much as there is on the gauze to paint, but there's still a lot at the top of his legs, around his ankles, and then a few little bits around his face, normally the goatee, and then his back as well is fully furred. Once both of those layers are dry, you can then wash the entire model with Nuln Oil. We'll come back to the fur later, but for now just wash the entire thing with a liberal coat of Nuln Oil. We are speed painting these guys because they are rank and file at the end of the day, so we're going to get some Mechanica Standard Grey and just dry brush back over all of these skin elements. Don't worry too much if you get this on the fur, because we're going to go back over that later, but just be careful as you run around not to get it onto it as much as possible. But it's quite a heavy dry brush. Pick out all of the muscles, leaving that Nuln Oil in the recesses. We're then going to step up a level in tone and dry brush with Dawnstone. So we're going to be a little bit lighter than before. We're going to make sure we're not covering over any of the Mechanica Standard Grey too much. We're going to try and pick up the next highest elements. Once you get into a rank and file situation and you're painting 5 or 10 of these at once, you'll get into a bit of a flow. And then once that Dawnstone, and you're happy with the Dawnstone layer, we're going to do a light feathering, or like a dusting almost, of Administratum Grey. So really do make sure the brush is extremely dry, and almost just run this over the facial details, and then the more extreme muscles that are pointing out, and also like the knees and the calves. And that should really just do what you need. And finally, to finish him off, we're just going to get some Flesh Tearers Red and dab that into his mouth, just to make it look like he is actually opening his mouth. Sometimes these pieces can be forgotten. We're going to paint all the teeth around this later, so we'll just give it a bit more depth when you're looking at him from the front. Now we're going to quickly do the wood and then finish the fur pretty rapidly here. So we're going to base coat all of the wooden elements with Dryad bark. That's the shield and the handle of his weapon. Of course, each miniature is different in this regiment, so you may have to paint different parts, but for this guy, those are the 2 pieces we are worrying about. We're then going to make sure we generously wash all of the wood elements with Nuln Oil as well. Now, the reason we've not gone for Rhinox hide is just to get 2 slightly different tones of dark brown. The Dryad bark is obviously a little bit more wooden, and the Rhinox hide is much more a natural colour. Once that is dry, make sure it's fully dry before dry brushing. We're just going to dust some Glorful Brown over all of the shields and the weapon handles, as well as all of the fur that we've already had the time to paint in the previous stage. Now we're going to move on to the horns, teeth, claws and hooves of our Ungor Warrior. All of this can be done at the same time. We're going to base coat all of it with Steel Legion Drab to start. Now make sure this is nice and watered down. There's not a lot of his hooves visible, but it is all underneath that fur, so you want to just run around what you can see and make sure you don't get it on all of the dry brushing that you'd previously just done. His teeth are in there as well, his claws, and don't forget his tiny little horns on the top of his head. We'll then wash all of this fairly generously with Agrax Earthshade. Of course, there's not a lot to see, so you kind of almost want to paint this on rather than really dabbing it in there. So paint it on where you can, and just be careful not to get it over all of the flesh areas. Once that's fully dry, we're going to grab some Baneblade Brown, and we're effectively going to overpaint the Steel Legion Drab, leaving that wash only in the recesses, and then on the hooves we're going to paint some lines in a vertical fashion. But of course there's not much visible, so you're kind of just adding it in for additional texture. If you don't want to add that in, then you don't need to, just feel free to paint over it like you're doing the horns or the teeth. We'll then step up to Herdstone next, and we're going to just paint a little bit less. All of these need to be fairly watered down in our wet palette so that they kind of show through the previous colours, but we're just building that texture up to the bone colour. And the Herdstone will just sit a little bit higher than the Baneblade Brown. And on the hooves, just paint over the lines you've just done. And then finally, to give it that bone a feel, we use Flayed One Flesh. You could use a Shabty bone, up to your preference. We use Flayed One Flesh. We feel like it just waters down a little bit more, and we're just going to kind of edge highlight this really, and all the Herdstone and Baneblade Brown will just do the work of what we need to make it look like bones. We're then going to move to the fabric and the shield for our Ungor Warrior. So we're going to start off with Barracknar Burgundy. We use a mixture of different reds, but for this guy I've stuck with what we've done previously on the channel. And we're just going to do 2 thin coats of this on his loincloth really. This is the only area that needs to be painted, that's front and back. It is quite a watered down colour for a base paint, so do make sure you do 2 coats. On the shield, even though we just dry brush the wood, we want to leave that as an underlayer. We're going to grab an old brush here, and we're effectively just going to stipple in quite heavily the Barracknar Burgundy, giving it that heraldic symbol. We're then going to grab Rakar Flesh and do the same thing on the bottom half of the shield. Now I do a whole host of different textures, a whole host of different paint quantities on these shields to make them varied. But on this particular guy, I made it look like he has really painted it quite heavily, whereas others I might do a little bit less. And it would just be daubed on. They're Beastmen at the end of the day. They don't have any lovely brushes. They'll just use whatever rags they have to hand. We'll then grab Nuln Oil and wash all of the shield. It's been painted with the colours, and we'll wash his loincloth as well. Be fairly generous, but of course at this stage we do have a lot of the model already painted, so do be careful as you apply this. We're then going to go back over the shield elements that were burgundy and his loincloth with a relayer of Barracknar Burgundy, leaving the Nuln Oil in the recesses. Of course, make sure this is nice and watered down. If it's too watered down, it will start to leak into those areas that you have the wash, so make sure to clear it out if that does happen, and start again. We're then going to grab a mix of Barracknar Burgundy and Flayed One Flesh. Now we do this 75 to 25, so 3 parts to 1 part, 3 part Burgundy to 1 part Flayed One Flesh. We're just going to run around and do an edge highlight on some of the loincloth and just paint in some of the shield grain, which you could dry brush if you would prefer, but we're just going to paint that graining in. We'll then grab Rakar Flesh and go back over the grain on our shield element. Not a lot to do here, so it's actually quite easy to run the brush down in a vertical motion. And then finally we'll grab some Flayed One Flesh, making sure this is nice and watered down as per usual, and just highlight that bottom half of the shield. You can see I've added a few extra specks of the white paint onto the burgundy to make it look like it's literally just been slathered with the Brayherds colour. Brayherds colour scheme, I should say. Now we're going to move to the bandages, straps and the bones, which we're all going to do at the same time. We're firstly going to grab Wraithbone, and we're going to paint all of the bandages that are on this model. Now this particular chap's case, he's only got 1 on his right arm, but every single model is different. So work your way around each rank and file guy and just paint this in as you go. There might be some on their legs, on the other arm, on their sort of pelt. So just check it out as you work your way through. Next up is XV88. We're going to paint all of the pouches, all of the string. Some of it might be belts on some of them. In this case it is string, and it's all around his waist. And there'll be little bits as well that you can find on the weapons and on the shields. So work around each piece systematically and paint them in. Once those two kind of base coats are dry, we're going to go in with Agrax Earthshade, which will seem quite extreme, especially on the Wraithbone, but there's method to the madness. We're going to run around and wash all of these areas. Now, of course, you want to be fairly liberal here, but be very careful. Grab an old small brush if you can. Don't use any of your nice brushes, and just make sure to get it into those areas. Back to the bandages. We're going to go back in with Wraithbone and overpaint everything except for the recesses. We're going to leave that Agrax Earthshade. Now, if the Wraithbone's nicely watered down on your wet palette, it should show through some of that texturing that you've just done with the wash as well, which can be quite nice. It's not going to be a clean bandage at the end of the day. Finally, we'll grab some white scar and we will edge highlight all of the bandages. Before moving on to all of our strings and straps and belts, and just sort of overpainting really with Talon sand. So we're not going to go back over this with XV88, there's just so much of it. Talon sand is perfect just to pick out all of the little bits that are pointing out around his waist. We'll also overpaint any little bones and trinkets that he has in this stage, before finally finishing off with Flayed One flesh on any of those bone elements. There's some on, the base of his shield here, two little bones, or two little teeth I should say. There's one on the bottom of his right leg there. So just paint that over with Flayed One flesh just to differentiate it from the string and belt elements. We're going to move on to the steel and the brass now. So there's not a lot of brass, there's not a lot of steel, but we're going to paint over the weapon itself. Now this is an old chunky piece here. I mean, Games Workshop plastic has certainly improved in the last 20 or so years. But anyway, we're going to paint that weapon, and we're going to paint all of the edges of the shield. The back of the shield does have some elements, so don't forget those, but only paint what you can see. These are rank and file after all. We're then going to paint a few little bits on him. He's got a little nipple ring, as well as a little coin on his left thigh. So we're going to paint those with Runelord Brass. We're then going to liberally wash all of these elements, the steel and the brass, just with Nuln Oil. Really douse it. The wash will do all of the hard work here, and we can just add the highlighting in a moment. Of course, at this stage, be as careful as you can, but we're starting to get to the point where a little bit of wash here and there is not going to make too much difference. In fact, it may make bits look a bit better, especially around the shield area. We're then going to edge highlight the weapon with Iron Hand Steel, and because it's such a broken up, horrible thing, we're going to just paint in all of those ridges and crests, and just to make it look beaten up, really. But leaving the wash to do a lot of the singing here, so that the Iron Warriors and the Nuln Oil really sells it more than anything else. We're then going to get in with Stormhost Silver and just edge highlight the Runelord Brass pieces, and then go in and paint like the rivets on the shield and add a final edge highlight on the weapon, just to make it look like that cutting blade is actually fairly dangerous. And then finally the eyes, really simple rank and file approach. We're just going to get in there with some Evil Sun Scarlet, and I've zoomed in a bit here so you can see, and we're just going to get a small brush, line it up horizontally to each eye, move the model around to do the other one, and just add a circle of paint into that area. And then finally we'll just add an extra bit of heat with some Troll Slayer orange to the tops of each eye, just to give it a bit more definition. We've not washed this, it's so small, and I'm more contemplating how would you paint 30, 40, 50 of these. And of course, trying to get the final shot, and it won't dry. But eventually it did, and here he is. Here's our Ungor Warrior finished, man. Great old models, these. I know that they're not going to set the world on fire, but I do find them easier to paint than the Gors. And a lot of this guy was dry brushing. We've used some more classic layering approaches to make the other elements pop, which when there's a unit of 50 of these, I think you can really tell. So anyway, thank you so much for watching. Like and subscribe. It's been a pleasure to keep doing these videos, a pleasure to paint Beastmen on here as well. I mean, that's mad that I've been able to do this. There is a Linktree bio link in our channel description, which can take you to like our Patreon, our WhatsApp community, and affiliate links for Wayland Games. I don't want to oversell all these things. I'd like to start a discussion into them. Let me know what you think about all the levels and the channel in general. But until next time, I shall see you in the next one. Bye-bye.